Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're checking out a track from an act named Nebuline69 titled Killing Your Attention. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen on YouTube and we're going to listen through it from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go. What do we got? Phenomenal sound quality. I love the audio production so far. Careful development of those instruments there. I just want to pause here to appreciate the combination of the really eloquently staged vocals on top of that really smooth, kind of almost smothering bass line there with a really phenomenal sub-resonance there. You know, the slight percussive layers there that aren't too bombastic yet, but you kind of get a feeling they're going to come slamming in soon. There's just a great degree of different elements here, a diversity of tones, which I appreciate. Build there. Really pretty harmonies there as well with some of those melodic synths. Yeah, nice, a simple drop. Yep, bringing in the clap. And a very subtle kind of riser at the end there, kind of leading us into a new place. No, great so far. Everything's nice and well balanced in the stereo field and the frequency spectrum. It's really easy to follow along too. And yeah, great. Vocal chops is like a sub layer, kind of going around with a little bit of filtering of the frequencies there. I like the vocal lines and how we repeat these melodies and how they harmonize really well with the rest of the elements of the mix and how, you know, like they're memorable and you appreciate that when they return. Okay, reiteration of that build structure there. Really well handled bass resonance there. Some of those elements of the previous bridge kind of returning here to kind of make themselves known and keep a connection there. Yep, great offbeat accent of the all those cymbal hits there. Now extending it a little bit. Nice. I'm assuming this is the end of the song, the outro here. Sounds like we're about to conclude. And we're done. Wow, that just came to a stop real quick. But I don't mind it. It wasn't blunt. You could kind of predict that we were heading to the end because of that extension there. It's something you do on an outro round. And this is the conclusion of my review of this track by Nebuline69. I'm hoping I haven't mispronounced Nebuline or Nebuline69. Killing Your Attention. What do I think this track is about? I'm not quite sure. Like, I heard the lines, you know, getting your attention, or maybe I was mishearing that as killing your attention. I'm already falling for you, etc. Being on their mind, etc. I'm wondering if you know, I don't understand the context to that. Clearly this person, they're enamored with them and maybe obsessed with them or whatever, but there's also a sense that maybe that's by killing your attention, that's cutting off their interest in you. Is that it? I'm not sure. I'm sure that if I had another listen to it, I'd probably get a little more context to it, but that's okay. It's great. That's the beauty of repeat listens. I used to not necessarily be a fan of needing that, but I've gotten a bit wiser now and understand that it can be better to enjoy things more than once if you're able to, especially when it's as easy to access as this track on their YouTube channel, and it's fantastic. But the vocals on this were good. It reminds me a lot of the kind of EDM-ish kind of stuff in the 2010s, and that style works here really well. There's a great presence to the voice. The different melodies were handled really well. There was a genuine sort of warmth to it. We weren't sort of doing too much with the voice to kind of filter or modulate it. It sounded kind of genuine, and like they were just kind of somberly kind of assessing the situation and gravitating towards a conclusion of some kind. I think the minimal amount of additional development of the story as we went along was great, because it still led to a sense of ambiguity and the listener was left to their own devices to kind of figure it out. And when things aren't spoon-fed to you, it can be a lot of fun to kind of have your own sort of imagination about it. But that's great. Yeah, I think the vocals told the story well. The track at 3 minutes is within that 2 to 4 minute sweet spot for singles, which is great. So it's nice and short, easy to sort of digest for people. It had a traditional sort of like instrumental part with maybe a verse and then a build and then a drop, and then it did it again. And that was like the A and B half of it effectively. And it's a really great established formula across the wide variety, you know, songs within in the genre. Like, what is this, like deep house or something like that? I'm not quite sure exactly what genre this is, but regardless, I enjoyed it. It had a great sort of sub-bass resonance to it, where they kept in line with some of the harmonies that were instantiated by some of the lead synth melodies on the sides there. That didn't interfere too much with the vocals. They were partnered really well, and they weren't there the whole time either, so it was great when they re-entered. And, you know, the drums as well. Great, you know, work regardless of whether it was the build section where things got a little bit more sort of spicy with the quicker hits, or that quarter note groove for the most part with the clicks or the claps coming in as kind of developments later on. I didn't ever get everything all at once. It was like slowly, substantially kind of increasing or verging in that direction, and I like the fact that things were staged in a way that made it engaging the whole way through. I don't think we needed to do anything differently with the way the instruments were played. There might have been some extra sort of synths or pads or something like that I missed. The use of a riser at like the end of the drop parts was great as well. And I think that there were nice peaks and troughs in this from an arrangement and performance perspective, which means that it wasn't the same perceived loudness the entire time. There were changes in energy levels, and it was fantastic. Really interesting to listen to. Things felt well connected. The studio recording, mixing and mastering was great. It was commercial grade to me. I think the vocals were nice and crisp and clear. The basses, the drums, the synths, etc. were nicely notched on top of each other. Things were well balanced in the stereo field and the frequency spectrum. The leveling was solid. There was dynamic range to this, and it was nice to allow without pumping. And I mean, effectively, this is my review of this track, Killing Your Attention by Nebuline or Nebuline69. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out their various social medias and a YouTube page. Stay cool, stay safe. Please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.